Hello, gorgeous soul. Welcome to Susie's Enchanted Crossroads. I'm Susie, and this podcast helps you navigate your journey through the crossroads by taking a deeper look into witchcraft and spirituality. So settle in, grab your beverage of choice, and let's get this episode going. As I begin this episode, let's all just take a collective deep breath together. Yeah, so shake your hands, roll your shoulders back, maybe do a little head roll. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale it all out. Cause what a fucking week, right? What a fuck. I can't even say anything else but what a fucking week. Um, as I'm recording, it's January 20th. And a lot was going on if you live in the States. And even if you don't live in America, you were in it with us, y'all. Like, first of all, First of all, we were going through like, oh my gosh, the TikTok ban, is it going to happen? Are we getting the extension? Is it going to be 36 hours? Is it going to be at 90 days? What's going to happen? Freaking Meta and Zuckerberg and fucking it just what's happening. And then we have the inevitable inauguration of this awful con person. And on the day of all days, on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And there was just so much energy going around, right? And we obviously we feel it in America, right? In the States. But the love and concern we were getting from like our fellow Canadians and people overseas, like, America, are you okay? No, we're not. We're not. Um, this is not a doom and gloom episode, by the way. I'm just kind of getting you ready, right? Because collectively we feel it. Collectively we feel this heaviness. And, where Pluto is stationed, the planet of death and rebirth and that struggle. And I'm not going to get too much into it here. It is on my newsletter a little bit. So if you're not part of my free newsletter coven, I give that out every week with the free card pull for my coven. And I send that out every week. So get on it. There's links down below. Like, do it right now. But you can pretty much Google it. What does Pluto mean for us, especially here in the States, shaking shit up, right? But also with all this energy going around, the uncertainty and how our eyes are open to certain things and it's wrong. But trying to figure out where we land in all this. Where do we stand here? How can we, voice and be heard? And I'm right there with you. And because we're all so connected via social media, everyone feels it, right? I mean, what it it feels like a novela, right? It feels like we're watching reality TV. It just does not feel real. Um, so when the TikTok ban did happen, right? It was for 12 hours. For some of you, it was 13, up to 15. We knew something wasn't right. And this is where I say this is where we really trust our intuition and our gut. Now, do we really think that TikTok wasn't going to come back? Of course not. Obviously, it was going to come back, but at what cost? And remember, I did an episode, if you haven't caught up, last week I talked about how we were coming in on that chariot. How are we coming into what we're approaching, right? How are we going down our path? How are we steering our sphinxes slash horses, right? Without having kung fu grip on those reins and how to release a little bit and how to be mindful of how we're feeling. So, If last week you were not able to make my community Reiki session, I would put it on your calendar right now. I would go down in the show notes below and I would most definitely sign up for my community Reiki the first Wednesday of February because I feel collectively we've just been through the ringer, right? We maybe feel a heaviness, like we already knew was coming, but even though you're preparing for it, sometimes when it's just when it happens, it's still gonna hit you, right? It's still gonna hit you. You're still gonna feel a certain way. And I'm here to support you on that, to do the best we can together and cleanse and reground. It right now it probably feels like you're walking on a waterbed or if you're walking on if you're walking on ice because right now it's effing cold and a storm's coming through. And if you're walking on ice without the proper shoes, you're wobbling and you're walking really slow and slipping and sliding and maybe falling, bruising our knees and our elbows and hands, or maybe we fall right on our ass and it's time to like, all right, it's time to pick myself up and really release that anxiety. Give it a place to go besides just making a home right in your body, wherever it makes its home. For some of us, it's recurring thoughts, right? And for some of us, it's right in the gut or the heart space. Even just letting go of that stress, just just for that moment as we come together in that energy. And the best part is that it's via Zoom and you're in the comfort of your own space. You don't have to have your camera on. You're just open to receiving. And even if you can't make it live, I can still send you that Reiki because I have a board that I use. And each one of you is a beautiful crystal that I put on my board. And so you're still going to receive it even though you're not actively live. So I have so much love for you, gorgeous soul. Let me know how you're feeling. You can hit me up on Instagram. TikTok's still around. So you can hit me up there if you feel, even though it feels not the same, because we all know it's not the same, you can shoot me an email. There's even, I don't know if y'all have noticed here, but you can actually leave me like a text, which is kind of fucking cool. I didn't even realize that. I always saw like send me a text, and I was like, I didn't type that, but it's offered. I even know if you're listening to this on Spotify, you can even like write down there. So there's also a form. If all that's like, ugh, I'm already on here, Susie. Shit, girl, I get it. Scroll down, click that job form, and just, it's not a job form. I think it's a Google form, and send me your message there. Or if you have an idea for an episode, which is how we got onto this topic. I received a message from a listener, and this is just a casual, just chit chat about the podcast and how they love listening. And thank you so much. And I didn't ask if I could drop your name, so this episode's about you, because obviously we chit chat about this. So let's go ahead and get into it. What are we talking about today? Pretty fitting, I guess. The evil eye. And the reason this came up was because I guess I talk about in my past episodes, um, you know, getting the evil eye and how to protect yourself, how to ground yourself. So if you haven't listened to those episodes on how to ground and protect yourself, just make sure you go back. Make sure you go back and take a little listen. But my listener was like, I hear you talking about the evil eye, and I think I understand it, but I don't think I fully. It's not that she doesn't understand it, right? It's not that y'all don't get it, but to really dive into this, instead of just having it as a little side salad, we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of it, of the evil eye. So I like that. I'm real excited. But I'm going to take a little sip of my iced coffee brought to you by Susie's Kitchen. Just to wet the whistle, and I would invite you, gorgeous soul, to take a sip of water. In fact, when was the last time you had water? Yeah, it's time to go grab you some water. So why don't you go grab your water and we're gonna get started. So I'm researching all about the evil eye, and I'm like, wow, there is a lot about this symbol, right? And it really does take a journey through a bunch of different cultures, which I knew, right? But the evil eye is a belief. Okay. In layman's terms, like you can give someone the side eye, right? You can be looking at them sideways, and that could be the evil eye. And this belief has been propagated through millennia, y'all, right? And it's the belief that certain people, individuals, okay, can inflict harm, misfortune, illness, so like bad luck, bad juju on others simply by looking at them with a gaze maliciously. And these beliefs are very prevalent in various cultures around the world. And it goes back to ancient times, which I knew, right? It's been around. The concept of the evil eye transcends the mere malevolence of it, but it holds deep social cultural meanings. And the thing about this, the beauty of all of this, is that it's been evolving like anything else throughout the years. And that's the evil eye. And I think a lot of us get that confused with the symbol. So if I were to say evil eye, right away you're probably thinking of the symbol, the bright blue outer part, right? It looks like a literal eye. That in itself, that is not the evil eye. That is an amulet. And that's where I think the confusion happens, right? And that's why some people, if you're new or unknowing, you think that charm that people have as bracelets or, and I'll get into it, they think that that's the evil eye because people call it the evil eye charm, and that's not what it's called. I'm going to get into that. It's it's really the belief, right? And if we're going to trace this back, right, tracing it to the actual root, we are looking at the Sumerian eye of death, right? That's where we find the root of the evil eye belief. And I'm just going to read this verbatim here because it's beautiful history. The ancient Sumerians, one of the world's earliest civilizations, were known for their advanced society flourishing around 4000 BC. And this is right, we're looking at present day southern Iraq. As with many early civilizations, the Sumerians had their own unique cosmetology and mythology. Cosmetology, cosmology and mythology. One concept that is particularly interesting is the eye of death, which is often considered as the earlier concept of the evil eye. Historical texts and archaeological evidence suggests that Sumerians, like many cultures around the world, held beliefs relating to the power of the destructive gaze, that side eye, if you will. While specifics about this in quotes, eye of death, are somewhat limited, it is generally thought to have been associated with the supernatural or divine powers capable of inflicting harm, misfortune, or death upon its targets. Isn't that fucking cool? So the Sumerians, they believed that different gods and goddesses with their own powers, these deities were not always benevolent, and their jealousy could manifest to with their destructive gaze, right? So yeah, if you have a god or goddess that's jealous or upset, they can give the eye of death, as they said. So just it's not that they wanted to particularly hurt or harm humans, but they could if they wanted to with just a look. So I look at this and I was like, wow, this is amazing. So, in addition, the some Sumerian rulers, as I was reading here, that were high priests, they were also thought to attribute the power of the eye of death because some considered them semi-divine. And when they were like, I don't know, pissed off or dissatisfied or disappointed, they could actually bring on issues with just a gaze. So I really love how we can go back. Thankfully, we can, going through all the cultures, but really finding the root of it. Now, I know that I know I've done an episode where I had a guest on and we were talking about talismans and amulets. And back then, Sumerians obviously had various talismans, right? Especially if we're talking about evil, malevolent forces, we want to have some kind of symbol or sigil or an inscription, something that could protect someone, someone's individual self, or place it in their homes, right? Individual selves on your person, on yourself, or in your home. And the thing is that you you don't have to be of high wealth to have these things. That's why I love the beauty of the craft because you don't have to always purchase something. You have to utilize what you got because that's what our ancestors did, right? We look at things and we really go down to the root of what it is, where it came from, what does it do? And that's how we can use them to our benefit, right? It's like we do salt for protection. And then we have different types of salt, which I also did an episode on. And there's so many different ways or things that we can look at, especially when we're looking at the evil eye. And I know we see it as, um, well, what it gets confused as, right? The evil eye, the charms, but the charm isn't evil, right? We're looking at the evil eye as, this person, this human, now that it's evolving, right? Now that we're here, it's 2025, as I'm recording. And we now understand that, oh, a human look, anybody, doesn't have to be a high priest or priestess, is believed that they could cause harm or minor misfortune or whatever just by a gaze. And the reason I feel that I feel like that there's beauty in that, right? Even though we're like, how can that be beautiful, Susie? That's dark and mean because we're living the human experience, number one. But number two, everybody has the power to wield their own magic. You are the magic. And if you can shoot the evil eye with just a look and your intention, because those looks are intentional, right? Even if you don't know that you're doing it, that is the evil eye. That is invoking that evil eye energy. And sometimes it's not even anything like crazy bad, right? Maybe someone, I don't know, steps on a Lego, right? They trip. They have they can't stop their hiccups, right? It's nothing like, oh my gosh, crazy, which you could. But sometimes that evil eye is just like, ugh, makes you keep on sneezing and can't stop. You know what I mean? There is something funny. My my husband says when he sneezes multiple times, he's like, "Oh, someone's cussing me out," and I had never heard that before, and it's stuck with me. Let me know if you've ever heard that, and I meant to look it up, so maybe I'll do it soon, but I had never heard of that before. So I know we're talking about the Sumerians, but the evil eye is very well known throughout history. It's mentioned in ancient Greek and Roman texts, and a lot of literary works, including the Bible. Yeah, the Bible. Proverbs 23 6. Can't even read my notes. Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats. The Quran also has it, and Shakespeare's plays. The evil eye is widespread. It's from everywhere. It's all over the world. Different cultures see it obviously very different, but when we get down to it, the type of magic the evil eye curse has, some people say, okay, it has its roots in superstitions. Yeah, of course. But nevertheless, we think about it. Nevertheless, it's passed down to us. Nevertheless, it's in a lot of major popular texts and books. And people blame the evil eye. And I feel like it's the evil eye is almost like Mercury retrograde, right? My computer's not working, Mercury retrograde. But we have to be mindful that it's actually in retrograde and we're not just like willy-nilly throwing that around. And when I was doing some research here, the eyes are said to have special powers, that they are the gateway or the window to someone's soul. Have you heard that? The eyes are the windows to the soul. So when we have the shiftiness of our eyes, right? We're squinting, we're looking at them like, what the fuck? Or um, if we hold that steady gaze, we can invoke that malicious energy or circumstances because of what we're thinking, what we're bringing up, right? What these feelings are bringing up. And you can have that intense connection. Think of it as a connection you have between someone um, close to you or you have strong feelings towards, right? It could be a friend, it could be a best friend, it could be family, a significant other, right? But that when you glare or you have that intense stare, because I don't want to like we're all squinting at each other and shit, we're just side-eyeing each other. Um, and I always think of like cartoons. I think of like this snake and it just like slithering along and then it glares at you. Oh my gosh, I know it's a meme somewhere from somewhere. But that intense stare conveys power. You're locked in, man. You are locked in. And the belief in the power of the eyes is so powerful that it can inflict evil or bad luck, right? It's just the way that we have that power should move you in a way as you're listening to this. Especially if you feel like, oh, I mean, who am I to have these powers, right? Like maybe you still have imposter syndrome, and it gets the best of all of us, whether you are just beginning your path, new on your path, or you're a seasoned practitioner. You There's times where we have that little voice. It's like, you though, can you? Is this spell gonna work? Can you do this hex? You know, it happens to all of us. And as far as cultures go, have you ever heard like, um, well, babies and kids can be very susceptible to this energy, right? Because they're more connected also, but they're also more vulnerable. I don't know if you've seen videos of like my kid says the darndest things, right? Or the scariest shit. It's like you ask a kid a question like, "Oh yeah, I see the shadow figure every night. Their name is la la la," and we talk about it. It's like, "I'm sorry, what?" Because they're more open. They're not thinking, "Oh, who am I to summon whatever?" It just happens. So same as being susceptible in getting harm from the evil eye. That's why we do what we can, right, to protect our kids. And I don't know if you've, at least in my culture, if you see a very cute baby, right? Oh my gosh, look at that baby. It's like, oh shit, I praise that baby. Even like when you're doing praise, it could be like you're all eyes are on this innocent thing. Isn't that crazy? On this innocent thing, and you would have to touch the baby right away. I need to look that up. I just know this because it's like, oh my gosh, look at the baby, you're so cute. Oh my gosh, what did I just do? And you have to like touch the kid, like on the little toe with permission. When I was out here touching kids, right? It's like, oh my gosh, may the evil eye not get them. Because if you see a baby from afar, but normally you would like touch that baby so that the evil eye doesn't get to them. And when I was looking into this, um, this stems across many cultures, many countries, where praising a child publicly is sometimes considered taboo because, like I just said, the compliment's going to draw attention to the evil eye. So, I know in some cultures, I'm just looking at, at my note, it said spit in kid's face. M- If you were, if a kid is praised in public, very like, oh my gosh, look at you, you're so smart and you're gorgeous and this and this and this, the person that gave the compliment has to immediately spit on the child's face. And I'm not talking, loogie. It's just, and I know COVID, right? That's why you don't do it. You don't like make it such a big thing. You got to bring it down because you don't want to, you know, have a target on this innocent child. But there's a lot of different things that, let me see, let me read my notes. Babies and children are are protected. Sometimes they have things that are pinned on their clothing, such things as small bags with a red cloth, sometimes in the shape of a heart, that look like pin cushions, and they have little things on there for protection, even if it's just a little piece of red cloth or a piece of iron. So just so you know, right? And have I talked about sigils yet? Regardless, that's what we can use, sigils for protection of ourselves, Avi, but for our kids as well, or children's, because you never know, you're not there all the time. And again, we don't do it maliciously, right? Sometimes we cast the evil eye without even knowing it. That's where I think this question came about because it's like, well, what's the evil eye? Like, what is it exactly? And if a person is believed to have the evil eye, sometimes we look right to their families, right? Or close circles. And that's why it's in good practice not to always shout out what you're doing, all these plans, because someone could be jealous of it. And even though they're not wanting the downfall or the demise, with that evil eye, if it's not protected, sometimes it just happens. Okay, so let's get into what is this evil eye pendant, right? Okay, so what we see, the amulets that are worn to deter the evil eye, is actually called the nazar. Nazar, something with the B. Where's my notes? I clicked away from my notes app. Anyways, um, the nazar, here it is. Is it? I'm so sorry. Obviously, I can't read this. Um, there we go. That's why I couldn't remember because I'm like, how am I going to say this? The Nazar Bonuk symbolizes the jealous and envious look of others. So when you see this Nazar, you're seeing it, usually it's glass, and the outer part is blue. It's dark blue. And the next circle is white, right? Like the eyes. And then you have the light blue circle within it, the iris. And then the black circle within it is the pupil. So when you wear this, it's actually protecting you from the evil eye. So this Nazar amulet is has the power to protect you from various misfortune, to either you or your property. And people really hold it near and dear to them. And when we see this, I know that when we say, oh, it's the evil eye, well, no, it's that itself is not the evil eye. It's protecting you from the evil eye. And you can see these all over the place, right? Um, as far as it's been through the millennia, the evil eye has really transcended from something being maybe superstitious, but it's really a symbol of cultural identity, an ageless symbol, right? And, despite different interpretations across different cultures um, around the world, the essence of the evil eye continues. It endures. It's a testament to universal resonance in the human psyche and how complex it is. And its journey is going to continue as it does. It's going to keep shaping and evolving as it has for millennia. Keeping the balance, right? We love the balance and we need it. We need that balance. I know for my culture, the evil eye is mal de ojo. And we really have these amulets and these rituals like the limpia, where if we feel someone has mal de ojo, what do we do? We do an egg cleanse. We do a limpia, where we get an egg, and I'm gonna do this real quickly. You put it all over the body, and you crack the egg in water, and then you really read the egg and see what's going on there. That deserves an episode all on its own. And I know nowadays we see as we grow to get closer together, right? Through social media and sharing of our cultures. Right now, the evil eye looks like a symbol to be adopted by fashion and the art industry. And I mean, it's still a protective talisman, and we see it now in all different forms. You see it on jewelry as decorations. I've seen it on tattoos. Heck, if you were to go to your phone right now and you go to the emojis, there's a freaking nazar right there. Look at it. Go, well, only if it's safe. When you're ready, go to like you're gonna go text somebody and look at your emojis. Let me do it now. Well, let's walk through it together. Um, let's see, let's see. It's right if you have an iPhone, because I have an iPhone, and you scroll to the right, and there's like a little light bulb. Click on that, and just scroll a little bit, and there is the Nazar right there. And that is how the evil eye symbol has been adopted as our ever growing world is, where we wouldn't normally see that, right? And now we see it. And now you have a deeper understanding that it is a protective amulet, talisman, however you want to see it. That symbol right there. It's not that it's evil within itself. It's protecting you from it. And as I dip into like different fashions, right? Sometimes people have it on bracelets and necklaces. And you're probably like, Susie, but I've seen different colors. Yeah, that is how it has evolved. So normally, typically, we see the blue, right? The dark blue. But there have been different colors adopted. Nowadays, there's various kinds of evil eye beads. And with those different colors used, it's still protecting you from the evil eye. But there's various meanings now. And that's the beauty of how we evolve. We're still holding on to the root of how it began, right? Protecting. The evil eye can be done from anyone, anywhere, at any time, whether you know it or not. Because we all have that power, we all have that magic. Now, way back then, it was okay, the gods and goddesses and, the semi-divine can do it. But now that we all know that we can really tap into our own magic, anyone can throw the evil eye. And with that knowledge, you got to protect yourself. Now, you can always just do a protective bubble on yourself. You know how to do it, but this is where we get the Nazar and also the Eye of Horus. But that's different. That'll be for another episode. But I'm going to go through the colors really quickly because I know maybe I piqued your interest here. Orange, evil eye, happiness and protection, motivation for commitment, increase your creativity and playfulness. Obviously we know the dark blue one, right? Gotta protect. The light blue is broadening perspective, solitude, peace. Dark green garners happiness, balance, freedom to pursue new ideas. Purple, boost your imagination, rebalance your life to remove obstacles. Brown, protection from the elements, connecting with nature, orderliness, and convention. Red brings you courage, more enthusiasm and energy, protection from fears and anxieties. Yellow or gold, protect of your health. And concentration, you want a sharper concentration, sharper mind, relief from exhaustion. I laughed at this one because I'm all pink eye. Pink evil eye protects your friendships, calming feeling, contentment and relaxation. White, purity and focus. Clear, clear clutter, and obstacles. Maybe even start fresh. Light green, success with your dreams, enjoyment, contentment, good health. Gray, protecting against sorrow, openness to new situations, reduce intensity, um, paired with any other color. And for all of these, very, very protective energy in specific areas, especially let's say if you're an artist and you want to harness that evil eye to make sure that we have an open flow, right? We're bringing new energy. If you're moving, right? Maybe you're moving to a new school or you're going to university away from friends. You could wear the pink evil eye, nazar, to protect new friendships or protect the friendships back home and still feeling connection, even though you're far away. I love the evil eye. I love talking about it. And it's very rich in its history. So I'm trying to like get as much as I can done within, I wanted to do 30 minutes, but within at least 45 minutes to really break down. So there's not fear when you see the evil eye jewelry or pendant or tablet amulet. When you see the nazar, that is what's going to protect you from the evil eye. And I did receive this question: what happens when it breaks? If your evil eye necklace, pendant, whatever you have, cracks, breaks, whatever, it fulfilled its job. So it really did protect you from those energies being casted at you. Remember, it's not always intentional. We can do it without even realizing what we're doing. So I do want to make that clear. Now, sometimes these fuckers, they know exactly what they're doing with their thoughts and their feelings and really seeing you through that lens. That's why you gotta protect and be smart, right? So if your pendant happens to break, you lose your bracelet, it never comes off, your necklace, it busts, whatever it is. And this isn't just like the Nazar. Maybe you have a crystal that is a protective crystal that you carry around with you everywhere. Because that happened to a friend of mine. She had a crystal that she always wore, and it was a necklace pendant, and she broke it. That thing just fell, shattered. Now, depending on different crystals, sometimes when that happens to a crystal or you lose it, it's done its job. Separate friendship, rose quartz, gone. Got it again, put it on, broke. Then it's like, all right, the self, whatever you're using that crystal for, it's fulfilled its job. What's the next step? Even if it's like your favorite crystal, you know what I mean? So when that happens, I would do a cleanse, come to community Reiki. Let's clear out that all that gunk out. If you can't wait till then, like I've done before in the past episodes, you can take a shower and really concentrate on that water clearing out any negative stagnant energy. In this case, it's negative energy in the evil eye. That you know. So it's cleansing all the way through, down and out, down the drain, and far away from you. You can do a limpia, like I said before, egg cleanse. It could be as easy as go into your kitchen, get some salt, put it in your hands over the sink, and with a little bit of water, very little, you're going to rub your hands together with that salt and really think about that salt absorbing that evil eye and rinsing it away, because that's something you can even do on the fly, like at work or getting those little packets of salt. I was going to say sugar, of salt, those little condiments and putting it on your hands and really, really working that in and down the drain. Super easy peasy, lemon squeezy kind of things. So, this was fun. This one I really enjoy. I love hearing from you guys. Let me know what topics you want me to discuss next. I have a good one. I can't wait to share and drop. But what else? What else? Yeah, protect yourselves, guys. Ground yourselves. I'm here to help you, especially with everything going on in the world. Everything, not just in the States. Everything around the world can get heavy. So be kind to yourself. Unplug, chuck the phone in the ocean, and give yourself the grace and the peace that you need. I'm always here to help you. There's a bunch of links down in the show notes where you can get a hold of me. Hit up my link tree. I offer readings. I'm doing year ahead readings all the way up until when the year begins. But Susie, you already started. Yeah, 2025. But when spring comes around, yeah, when the year, nature, right, actually begins. And it could be a comfort just feeling out the energies for the year, for each month. So hit me up. Take advantage of Community Reiki because that is done at a very, very low price. And it's together. And especially if we don't know each other yet, it's a great way to get to know each other in a nice, comfy setting. All right, y'all. Stay protected. And until next time, I will see you at the crossroads.